Good morning. It's time to go to rehearsals for my solo UK tour, Love Letters. I'm looking a little bit dishevelled because, you know, 3 hours sleep just isn't enough for anyone, really. I've just remembered what earrings I'm wearing as well. I put them on in a flight of childish whimsy. They're winged willies. I'm wearing winged willy earrings that I got from Pompeii. Let's not talk about it. I'm nervous, and I'm really excited to start singing actually, because I don't get a huge amount of time to do some like singing for pleasure at the moment. I did give it a go, and Mabel cries whenever I belt anything, so that was short-lived. So let's go into London. We are rehearsing where Phantom of the Opera is on at His Majesty's Theatre. So let's go. So here we are. It's almost, oh god, the hair is not looking fresh today. It is almost 10 AM in Piccadilly Circus, and I'm walking down Haymarket, and this walk always reminds me of Heather's, because obviously Heather's, when it moved to the West End, was at Haymarket, Theatre Royal Haymarket, and I used to spend my life and my wages in Olenstein, which I still don't think I say right, but that is where I'm headed now for a coffee and possibly a croissant. Also, if it looks like my glasses change all the time, it's because they do. I got transitional lenses just so that I didn't have to get prescription sunglasses. So they go from like clear glass to tinted glass when I come out in the sunshine. And this is very mild sunshine, so these are being very over dramatic at the moment, but useful. Oh, my old friend. Here we are again. So I just put some brown sugar in my coffee. It made me wonder, have I ever told you my joke about brown sugar? You see, it's because I always tell my jokes about white sugar. They're more common. Jokes about brown sugar, demerara. Also, speaking of things that you sprinkle over food to make them taste good, we're running out of salt at home, which doesn't sound like a big deal. There's Ruthie over there. It doesn't sound like a big deal. But I woke up in the middle of the night 2 nights ago going, oh my god, I have no salt in the house. My house isn't protected from evil spirits. I woke up in the middle of the night worrying about that. And there's Ruthie! So I ended up filming precisely 0 on that first day of that week with Ruthie and Mount. So I tried to make up for it the next day, which is why I have a sudden outfit change. But I kind of wanted to introduce you to the team behind Love Letters. We have Ruthie Stevens, who is my director, and she was my resident director on Cinderella. And then there's Ben Van Tienen, who is, I guess last year he was musical director. This year I would say he's more musical supervisor, but he was also my MD on Cinderella. And the reason that he's now musical supervisor, I would say, is because we have Malcolm Forbes Peckham.
Yeah, that's what you would naturally go to.
Whereas Ben, I can't say is taking more of a backseat because he's arranged and orchestrated all of the music for the entire tour, so that is definitely not taking a backseat even a little bit. But this time around he's not coming on the tour because he has prior commitments, and I am of course writing and performing the show. So I've written all of the letters and we have a shared document so that we can all see it kind of in real time and comment on things and, you know, switch things around or change things if we need to. But in the room we read through the letters and then we figure out how we go from the letter into the song, whether there needs to be any underscore, whether we can just start the song straight after the letter, whether there's, you know, a moment that could be made going into the song, like a fun little moment. But those are things you have to kind of discover in rehearsals, in the room with other people, because I'm not a musician. I don't know what's possible in terms of underscoring, because I'm not the person who has to play it or write it, and not just write it for piano but write it for the other band members as well, who all play different instruments. So whilst I can pitch in an idea and say I'd love it if there was a bit of underscoring here, ultimately if it's not possible, it's not possible, or if it is possible, I don't know what's best, like what piece of music is best to underscore my monologue with. And as the director, we say that Ruthie is in charge of keeping it classy. Always comes with a peace sign. She's keeping it classy.
We're living the dream, guys.
I know.
We're writing notes on pages on this.
because there are times when I get carried away and I'm like, oh my God, we should do this. And she's like, I think that's too much. We need to keep it classy. So Ruthie is the person who reins me in when I get ahead of myself, which is something that I definitely, desperately, often, undeniably need. There's also been a lot of discussions across rehearsals, because these aren't the first rehearsals that we've had. Ruthie and Ben have come to my house quite a bit over the last few months, where we've done lots of discussions about the show as a whole, and then as the rehearsals have kind of gone on, we've been, you know, thinking obviously intricately in more detail and more specifically about each number and how each number ties into the letters that I want to write, or how the letters could tie into songs that I would really love to sing, because there is a little bit of both, you know, finding songs that I desperately want to sing, but maybe it's not right for the show because I don't want to shoehorn like a letter into the show that doesn't fit or doesn't make sense. But over these rehearsals, which started when Mabel was maybe like 2.5 months old and she's now 6 months old, I have changed massively, like, you know, physically, you know, organs going back into the right place where they should be, and hormones going back to normal. And so vocally, I've massively changed. And when I first started singing these songs, I noticed a massive shift in my voice, and that I couldn't place things as easily. And part of it is also because I've just been out of practice, because over the first like 6 months of the year, I just wasn't singing because I was, you know, busy being pregnant and having a baby and just enjoying having a newborn. And I also discovered quite quickly that Mabel just starts crying if I try and belt anything. So being out of practice and going through all of the physical changes of giving birth and postpartum have had a huge impact on my voice. And it's been in like the last month and a half where I've started to go, oh, there she is, there she is. She's not disappeared altogether. She's back in the building, she's back in the room. But there were lots of discussions to be had about the keys that songs should be in. And whilst I didn't want to like lose the impact or the money notes of songs, there were some songs where I was like, I really want to sing this, but I just don't think I can sing this in the original key because it goes up to an F or it goes up to an E sharp. And it's not that I would say I'm incapable of it. It's that I would say when you're singing 21 songs, 22 songs every night for 2 weeks, let's be smart. If I have the choice to change some of these keys, let's be clever about it. But I did have a couple of moments of terror because my voice is so much a part of my identity, a part of my livelihood. It's what it's what I rely on to earn money. I'm a singer, I'm a musical theatre performer. So it's really lovely to be able to sing without fear. Part of me wonders if that needs to be a tad higher. And I might paint myself, but I just feel like now my voice is sort of getting it straight out a little bit after baby. That does look a bit better. So for these last couple of rehearsals, Malcolm is currently the MD on Phantom of the Opera, which is why we've been rehearsing at His Majesty's Theatre upstairs in what's called the Dome. Such a cool place. Very, very lucky to be using it. But he's been in tech for new cast members, I think. So around sort of like midday, 1 o'clock, he's been heading downstairs to go and do tech, leaving me and Ruthie to figure out the beginning and the ending of the show and where we want to start and how we want to finish and how we get there in the meantime. I love mine and Ruthie's working relationship because we're really not afraid to tell each other exactly how we feel about the other person's ideas. Obviously not in a mean way or a brutal way, but we're both just very much like, I don't think that works. I think we can do better. Like, I think together we can find a better alternative than that thing she just said or that thing that I just said. And we did actually have a very heated discussion the other day about one particular song and the ending of the show, because she felt the song that we were talking about was about one thing and I thought it was about a different thing. And we were both like, we're both saying the same thing, I just don't know how we're saying it so differently, and ultimately we were like, I guess that's just the beauty of musical theatre and music. And at the end we were like, I love you. But it's funny watching back some of these videos because so much of our process is the both of us just sort of staring into space in really deep thought before one of us finally breaks the silence and says something either that's like we know is just a placeholder idea, or it's like the idea and we're like, yes, you're a genius.
So, if we lose this song again, it's fine.
No!
It's just the end.
No, it's not the end. It's not the end. It's a strong yes.
Yeah.
It's a strong yes. It's not the end. I think it's important again. It's like the most important.
Is it maybe the most?
Maybe the most important.
So like that's a word.
And then on the Wednesday, we went to Wilton's Music Hall, which is a stunning venue that I didn't know existed, and it's near the Jack the Ripper Museum, which I also didn't know existed. But it was built in the 1600s, so it's like an old, definitely haunted building, and it's absolutely stunning. Reminded me very much of the party that is held at the end of Casper in her house with all like the fairy lights and stuff. I definitely want to go back. But we filmed 3 covers that are going to be in the show, in Love Letters, and we filmed 3 of those covers to be released very, very soon, or they might have been released by the time you see this. So here is a little behind the scenes glimpse of us recording those.
Oh, balls. That's a really good start. Literally walking like an alien in a skin suit, trying to assimilate with the human people.